Hello, I'm Jacob Beach with the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Today I want to talk to you about something that I am incredibly excited about, and that is the ARK from Comprehensive Fighting Systems, made by Dirk Pinkerton. I'm going to have everybody's links and information in the description down below so you can see where to buy the knife and everything about it. But ARK stands for Active Response Kerambit. I think that this is a knife that is underpriced and is going to make a big splash. Let's check it out. So, while at Tactical Response taking way of the pistol, we were doing a buddy drill that was a medical drill, trying to ramp up the stress a little bit. So, we were paired with a buddy, we were practicing shooting around cover using good techniques while one of us was injured and while there were a lot of other environmental distractions to ramp up the stress. So I'm coming around this corner, shooting, doing my thing, doing other stuff. He's taking his turn. He gets injured, and he's got a TK4 tourniquet. And he's struggling with it a little bit. A lot of people really love those tourniquets. Not to get on a tangent, I ended up being really glad that I was carrying the rats, because for me and for him also, the TK4 wasn't really working. But anyways, man, he was taking a long time to work on his tourniquet. And so I'm spending a lot of time with movement, with shooting around my barrier, banging steel and stuff, and well, what do you know, I'm running a 1911 and I run out of ammo. So without even thinking about it, I pull out the Benchmade SOCP and start thinking about my next step, because now that my gun's down, it's time for secondary and tertiary actions. Long story short, I ended up taking his Glock, and I continue to fire with the Benchmade SOCP in my hand. And then I'm also, once the enemy is down, I'm also passing him medical supplies and doing other stuff with the knife in my hand. This really showed for me the importance, of course, of training, both in the scenario and with the weak hand blade, which I'm a big fan of. But it also showed me, it kind of validated for me why it was important to train with the weak hand blade and why the weak hand blade was important. Now, where the SOCP is strong is in its versatility and its retention system, but definitely this ARK, I think where it benefits is the way they designed the ring in the center of the handle puts tension on the blade with your normal hand movements. So I can still use my hand and go do stuff. I can stop my gun, I can still shoot, I can still do whatever. But this knife's not coming out of my hand, and it's very second nature in the hand. Weighs just over an ounce, so it's not like you ever feel it on your kit. And I think there are maybe some downsides with the sheath and some other things, but the design has incredible potential. And man, let me tell you what, for $80, I think that this thing is phenomenal. Like, people are complaining about the sheath, and they don't understand that to get a custom knife like this in 154 cm, the sheath is a freebie. I'm surprised it even came with a sheath. Nonetheless, a Kydex sheath, which is acceptable-ish. But I know I'm kind of breaking my first impressions mold for the sequence of how I'm going to do videos, but this knife's a lot different than normal knife reviews that I do. So what we're going to do now, I want to show you how I wear the ARK, what I did with the sheath. It's really not difficult, and let you see kind of how it fits on my kit. Alright, so what's very interesting about having pre-ordered this knife is I got onto an email list with basically everybody else who pre-ordered this knife. And so when people are giving their comments on their knife or responding on the comments, to the company, I get those emails, which is very interesting for me and very cool from a reviewer perspective. Everybody hates the sheath. And I told them myself privately off to the side, the sheath can use some work, but again, this is an $80 tactical blade. It's basically a freebie coming from a little American shop. I mean, this is cool as crap. And so I'm getting a lot of comments like, well, how do I attach this thing to my kit? This doesn't come with a mounting method, blah, 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 blah. If you want to be tactical, but you can't think for yourself, just quit. Because all of your gear and training is worthless if you can't use your dang noodle. It's incredible to me, some of these responses. But the sheath that comes with it's serviceable. Throw some paracord around it, throw it on your belt, or like any other sheath with eyelet holes, if you want to put it on your kit, take that 550 cord, attach it to your kit. I mean, it's really not hard, guys. With that being said, if I do keep this in my everyday carry, I probably will go with some custom Kydex. If I put it instead on my battle belt, where it would also see a lot of use, then I probably won't, because it'll be fine for that. I do think that there are some downfalls with the sheath system. I'm going to talk to the designer about that, give him some input. But since this is just a initial impressions review, this knife is $80, guys. 154 cm. They did an excellent job on making it. The biggest thing. Stop it, Jimbo. Stop it. Get out of here. Yeah. I usually do woods reviews, so the dog's got to come. That's just how this works. But for what really sells this knife, and what's really going to sell this knife, is the design and the thought process behind the design. There are some things that still need to be figured out with the sheath, but this is going to go a long ways because it flippin' works. You put this thing on your hand, it doesn't matter who it is, you put this thing on your hand, and you go, I get it. Just like that. No other thoughts, everybody. I put this on all kinds of people's hands. My little sisters, my mother-in-law, random friends, big hands, small hands. They put it on their hand, they go, well, shoot, that's awesome. It just works. So I'm not going to do a full review on this knife until they come out with a trainer. That's the one thing that I will say I'm a little bit bummed about, is that I don't think a combat knife should be released without a trainer, period. So what I hope to do is hopefully I can go over to Comprehensive Fighting Systems in Tucson, Arizona. They'll get a trainer together, and I can take the class dedicated to this knife and do a little bit of pew-pew and /slash pokey-pokey, and we'll see how it goes. Until then, make sure to check them out. Like I said, links are below. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think. I look forward to talking to you in the comment section. Have a great day.